In 2019, I took out a home equity loan on my house at the time and used it to buy my first investment property right here in Warren, Michigan. I'll never forget that moment. After that wire went through, it wasn't fear, it was excitement. I remember thinking, we finally did this. That one decision has changed everything. 5 years later, that move turned into a 14-home portfolio that I currently own today. I'm gonna break down exactly how it happened, what I learned, and what I'd do differently if I were starting over again. Hi, I'm Ryan Maceri with the Maceri Home Group, investor, realtor, and a proud Michigan guy. I started out just like a lot of people, working hard, paying down my home, and realizing my equity was just sitting there doing nothing. So instead of letting it all sit, I put it to work, and it has changed my life. That first property was a 3-bedroom ranch right here in Warren. A simple home, nothing fancy, but it represented the start of something real. I took that equity from my house, I used it to buy that property in cash, and from day one, I was all in. That deal taught me the fundamentals of how to screen tenants, manage repairs, and think long-term. I didn't need the perfect deal, I just needed a starting point. You cannot build momentum without movement. That first step gave me the experience and the confidence to keep going. People hear home equity loan and think risk. Me? I hear opportunity. The truth is, leverage is only dangerous when you do not respect it. I didn't take that loan to go buy something that lost value. I used it to buy an asset that continuously pays me back. That's the difference between consumer debt and investment leverage. One costs you money and the other builds your freedom. That first property helped me understand how to make my money move. I reinvested, I refinanced, and I repeated it. And that's how one home became 2, and then 4, and now eventually 14 in my current portfolio. One of my favorite deals wasn't even exciting at all. It was my 3rd or 4th property, another home in Warren, Michigan, and it already came with a tenant in it. For 2 years, I didn't have to lift a finger. Rent came in, there's no headaches, no stress. When that tenant moved out, I remodeled, I raised the rent. That home became actually one of my best performers. That deal taught me something that I still tell investors to this day. Don't chase the shiny objects, chase the solid numbers. The boring, predictable properties are the ones that quietly change your life. Now, not every deal is a win. I partnered on a flip a few years ago, and that turned into one of the toughest projects that I have ever done. The seller was a heavy smoker, and no matter what we did, we could not get that smell out. We tried painting, replacing drywall, floors, cleaning the HVAC system, you name it. By the time we sold it, we were basically breaking even, if that. But that deal taught me something very important. Sometimes you don't lose money, you gain perspective. Every project, even the tough ones, teaches you how to spot red flags faster and make better decisions for the next time. When I talk to people thinking about investing, I hear the same thing over and over. I'll start once I have more money. But here's the thing. If I had waited for that, I would not be here today. I would still be waiting. I started with what I had, the equity in my home, and I made it work. Today, if you find the right deal, the money will come. You don't need the perfect plan, you need a real one. Run the numbers, learn the market, and just get in the game. Because the only people who never win in real estate are the ones who never start. Looking back, it's crazy to think that one decision could change the trajectory of my life. Real estate has taught me patience, problem solving, and how to think like an owner and not just a buyer. It gave me freedom, and more importantly, perspective. And that's why I share my story, because I know what's possible when you stop waiting and you start building. If you're sitting on equity or thinking about making your first investment, I would love to help you build that plan that actually works. Schedule a quick strategy call below, and I'll walk you through exactly how to use what you already have to create something lasting. There's no fluff, no pressure, just real guidance from someone who's actually been there. I'm Ryan Maceri, and this is where Michigan moves forward.